like you're doing this crazy, clearly self-destructive behavior. And so we can assume only one of two things. Either you're delusional and think you can get away with this and it's never going to catch up with you, or you want it to catch up with you. You're anticipating and you want the crash. What do you think of that?
I have two kids. They're two boys. They're now teenagers. And a few years ago, before, they were probably old enough to learn this vocabulary word, my wife and I taught it to them. And the word is hubris. It is, again and again and again, I think, one of the great human flaws. To believe so intently in yourself and to be so confident in yourself that you don't see the world around you. And I think hubris is one of the things that brings so many people down. It absolutely played a role in bringing Pete Rose down.
So do you think he thought he'd never be caught? It's all hubris. This won't touch me. Or do you think was there some part of him that wanted there was some masochistic thing or something like, I want to crash and burn?
Pete Rose told me many things, and I can tell you that based on my reporting that I don't think everything he told me was true. But he did tell me when I asked him, why weren't you honest when baseball officials came to you in February 1989 and presented rumors of your gambling on baseball? Why weren't you honest right then? And why, even before that, would you take the risk of betting on baseball and your own team, knowing that there was a rule posted in every clubhouse in America, including his clubhouse in Cincinnati and Philadelphia, that said if you bet on the games, you face a lifetime banishment. And Pete said simply, I thought I would get away with it. And I do believe him on that. But a few months after that first meeting in February 1989, when baseball comes to him just with a rumor, just with a tip that possibly Pete Rose is betting on baseball, possibly Pete Rose has bet on his own team. A couple months after that, baseball now has essentially a dossier of information on his behavior. They have phone records. They have bank records. They have depositions with a bookie who claims to have taken Pete's bets on baseball. They have depositions with a man who claims to have placed Pete's bets on baseball. The details in the depositions are searing and colorful and feel very real. And at that point, it's clear to anyone paying attention that this must be true. It has to be true. It has to be at least mostly true. And so I did ask Pete, when he goes for his own deposition, a secret deposition in the basement of a Catholic church in Dayton, Ohio, a site that was chosen because they thought it would throw off the press, which it did. No one knew they were there that day. 2 days, actually, in April 1989. I asked Pete, when you were there that day, in those days, and the investigator in charge, John Dowd, began to show you piece after piece of evidence, clearly showing that he had everything, or at least he had most of it. Why weren't you honest then? And Pete said that he felt like he was fighting for his life. He felt like he was fighting for his job, for his livelihood. And so he goes into that meeting, that deposition, with a game plan in his mind, which is give John Dowd nothing.
Yeah.
And it is also what contributes to his demise.